Again, we will call the meeting to order and welcome everyone on the telephone. First resolution that we'll be dealing with tonight is be it resolved that the agenda for the regular meeting of council held this 11th day of January 2022 shall be adopted as presented. Do we have a mover? Moved by Councillor Blosha, seconded by Councillor Pierrepont. Are there any additions requested? If not, all in favor?
Yep.
Councillor Foster, are you in favor?
Yep.
Okay, that is carried. Next resolution, be it resolved that the minutes of the regular council meeting held on December 22nd, 2021 be adopted as presented. Do we have a mover for that resolution? Moved by Councillor Pierrepont, seconded by Councillor Kushniryk. If that's okay, we take you as a seconder, Councillor?
Yep. Yes, please.
Okay, are there any errors or omissions? If not, I'll call the question. All in favor?
Yep.
That is carried. Okay, anything in Public Works to report? Nothing? No delegations, no petitions, general business. Moving on to 7.1, the Swan River Fire Department report for December 2021. You all had a chance to look at it? Resolution reads, be it resolved that the Swan River Fire Department response report for the month of December 2021 shall be received by Council of the Municipality of Swan Valley West. Do we have a mover, please? Moved by Councillor Blosha, seconded by?
I'll second it.
Seconded by Councillor Foster. Any questions or comments? Not all in favor?
Yep.
That is carried. 7.2, the Urban Animal Control Officer's Report. Resolution reads, be it resolved that the Urban Animal Control Officer's Report for December 2021 be received by the Council of the Municipality of Swan Valley West. Do we have a mover for that resolution?
Kushniryk.
Moved by Councillor Kushniryk, seconded by Councillor Blosha. Any questions or comments? If not, all in favor?
Yep.
Councillor Foster?
Yes.
That is carried. Next we move to 7.3, Library Board Appointment. The resolution reads, whereas submissions were requested from the public for consideration as representatives on the municipality appointment to the Northwest Regional Library Board, therefore be it resolved that Beverly Poland of Durban be so appointed. Do we have a mover for that resolution? Moved by Councillor Blosha, seconded by Councillor Pierrepont. Any comments? Not, all in favor?
Yep.
That is carried. $7.4 is the 2022 tax sale, and the resolution reads as follows. Whereas Section 365 sub 2 of the Municipal Act provides that Council may, in any year, designate the immediately preceding year or any earlier year as the year for which properties, the taxes in respect of which are in arrears for the year, must be offered for sale by auction to recover the tax arrears and costs. Therefore be it resolved that the designated year for which properties in arrears be offered for sale by auction be 2021, meaning all properties with outstanding taxes from the year 2020 or prior. And that in accordance with section 363 sub 1 of the Municipal Act, costs shall be the actual costs incurred by the municipality for each parcel listed for the tax sale. And be it further resolved that tax service will be hired to manage the tax sale for the municipality during the fiscal year 2022. And that the tax sale auction shall be held on October 18th, 2022 at 10 a.m. in the council chambers at 216 Main Street West, Swan River, Manitoba. A mover, please. Moved by Councillor Pierrepont, seconded by
I'll second it.
Councillor Foster. Any questions or comments? If not, all in favor?
Yes. Yes.
That is carried. Okay, it is not quite yet 7:15, so we will continue on. 9.1, general checks. The resolution reads, be it resolved that Council of the Municipality of Swan Valley West hereby approves the following payments. General checks number 17484 to 17520 in the amount of $94,138.46. Do we have a mover, please?
Kushniryk.
Moved by Councillor Kushniryk, seconded by Councillor Blosha. Any questions or comments on the checklist? You all had a chance to review them? Okay, there being no questions, we'll call the question. All in favor?
No. Yes.
That is carried. 9.2 payroll. Be it resolved that Council of the Municipality of Swan Valley West hereby approves the following payments. Regular payroll checks number 3938 to 3949 in the amount of $21,570.54, and the Benito Fire Department checks number 3950 to 3969 for a total of $10,674.72. Do we have a mover for that resolution? Moved by Councillor Blosha, seconded by Councillor Pierrepont. Any questions? If not, all in favor?
No. Yes.
That is carried. Nine point three, indemnities. Resolution reads, be it resolved that Council of the Municipality of Swan Valley West hereby approves the following payments. Indemnities for December 2021, checks number 3970 to 3978 in the amount of $6,897.64. A mover, please.
Kushniryk.
Moved by Councillor Kushniryk, seconded by
I'll second it.
Councillor Foster. Any questions on that list? Not, all in favor?
No. Yes.
That is carried.
Someone tune in.
We can hit those other two quickly because they'll just be tabled. 9495, we'll just, there's,
9495 you want to do?
yeah. I don't, the 9/4, there's, December isn't, it'll be ready at the next meeting.
Okay, be it resolved that Council of the Municipality of Swan Valley West hereby receives the bank reconciliation.
No, we're gonna, won't be until next meeting.
Oh, I
Yeah,
thought you
we'll
said you
talk
wanted
about
to do them before we
Oh,
open
yeah.
the hearings.
No,
Sorry.
I just wanted to go through that and say that
They will
that's,
be ready.
that'll be ready next, so we won't discuss that one. And then budget 2022, it's usually a quick one. If there's
Okay.
any comments on it.
Anyone have any additional comments for budget 2022 at this time? Okay, if not, how do I get to the other one here? It's on the paper.
You can go to menu here. You can do it both ways. And then agendas. Public hearing.
Okay, first we need a resolution to close this meeting, though.
It's there.
It's in the previous, it's
In
in,
the previous one,
yeah.
should have went back to it.
Menus and agendas again. And into the regular council meeting.
Okay, it is 7:15, so we will close this meeting with this following resolution. Be it resolved that we do hereby adjourn the regular meeting of council at 7:15 PM to open the following public hearing. And that is to amend table 4.3, residential rural use table, and table 4.4, residential rural bulk table of bylaw number 238304, being the rural municipality of Swan River zoning bylaw number, or bylaw, to allow for emergency services including police and fire stations as permitted uses in the RR5 and RR2 zones. And be it further resolved that we shall reconvene the regular council meeting of council immediately following the adjournment of said public hearing. Do we have a mover for that resolution, please? Moved by Councillor Pierrepont, seconded by Councillor Blosha. Any questions? If not, all in favor? That is carried.
Yes.
We don't have an opening from them.
No, just, there's no resolution to open it, it's just called to order.
Okay.
And that's on the back page there. Just flip that. That's right there, opens the meeting.
Oh, okay. Okay, welcome. This is the opening of the meeting for the public hearing being held in the municipality of Swan Valley West, Council Chambers at 216 Main Street West, Swan River, Manitoba, this 11th day of January 2022 at 7:15 PM. It's regarding a bylaw number 0091-21, being an amendment to rural residential bulk and use tables of the rural municipality of Swan River, zoning bylaw number 238304. Present, myself, Deputy Reeve William, Councillor Pierrepont, our CAO James Webb, and Assistant CAO Robin Weeb in council chambers, as well as Jeremy Bergen. Attending via telephone, Councillor Kushniryk and Councillor Foster.
We had a few people join the call. Can you state your names, please?
Val Dahl.
Val, thank you.
Stan Anderson.
Thanks, Dan. And there should be one more.
Leonard Davis.
Thanks, Leonard. Good. Is there anybody else that joined the call at 7:15? Okay, thank you.
Okay, we have received a list of those people who want to present, and we will start it in the fashion that they were received. And we are asking that presenters limit their presentations to 5 minutes apiece so that everyone has a chance to express their views. And just a reminder that this is a hearing on the amendment to a bylaw. So the first list of presenters, Meredith, did you actually have a presentation that you wanted to give?
No, just being present.
Okay, thank you. Next on the list then is Bill Gade. Councillor Gade, are you still there?
I am still here.
Okay, the floor is yours.
I wonder, I was kind of expecting the council would do some sort of presentation as to what the changes were about and why it was being done. Was there any chance of hearing that before I make a presentation?
I think it was self-explanatory in what I read. It is an amendment to zoning bylaw to allow for police stations as well as fire halls to be built in those areas.
Would you be able to offer any comment about why council felt that we should do this?
I don't believe that that's necessary. You are in the know, and so is everyone else, I am sure. So we would, at this time, entertain your presentation.
Thank you. Certainly a pleasure to be back before council, even though on a different side of the public hearing tonight, but welcome everybody. Glad to hear so many people here showing their interest. I would note that council did not make a presentation explaining why they felt the need to make this change to the bylaw, nor when asked would they provide even a single reason why they were making this change, which unfortunately makes it very difficult for members of the public like myself to have any idea why council is doing this other than they called the hearing. And it sort of leaves the public having to guess at why this might be necessary. My guess would be that you're wanting to build a fire hall or perhaps a police station someplace in an R2 or R5 zone, which from my understanding is likely in reference to the new fire hall that's being constructed, upgraded, whichever way we want to go with that, at the municipal shop site. I have some concerns about the way council is going about this in the normal way for council to proceed if they needed to build a building like this and found the proposed site wasn't zoned in a way that would allow a fire hall would be to rezone the site. I don't know why council would want to make changes to what's allowed in rural residential areas instead of simply dealing with the matter at hand, which is allowing a fire hall to be constructed in the location council has apparently chosen for it. Outside of that, which I think is really a big point, what's proposed here tonight is that any property in an RR5 or RR2 zoning can construct a fire hall or a police station without further input from council. I'm not sure if council is aware how zoning works. I would hope that the learned members are. But certainly when you're changing a zoning bylaw like this, you could make such a change. Presumably have to go this way because there's no way to rezone the property properly to where it should be. The property would either be an RR5 or an RR2, so you wouldn't necessarily have to make the change to both zoning locations if you just have one property in mind. But more importantly, you're proposing to make this a permitted use. And what a permitted use allows is that anyone could then build a fire or police station in any RR5 or RR2 zone. Again, without council's input, council would not have the ability to say, yes, this is a good idea, no, it's not. It would be able to happen simply with issuing a building permit, and council would have no legal authority to stop the construction of that, which could be a problem further on. Say, for example, someone wanted to build a police station in a neighborhood where people didn't really want one. What council could do, if they needed to go down this path, would be to make it a conditional use of those zones. So it would end up much the same, except if anyone wanted to build a fire hall or a police station, council would first have to give their approval. Much like we've seen council do for other things where a conditional use of a property is proposed, it comes before council in a conditional use hearing. Council hears the merits of the proposal, and if council agrees it's a good idea, they give their permission for it. So I would certainly suggest that, step A, we should really do this properly as a municipality. We should rezone the property if that's what needs to happen. But secondly, if for some reason that can't be done, and I was hoping council would speak to why this was so urgent to do it this way instead of following the normal process, I would certainly urge council to consider making it be a conditional use rather than a permitted use, so that in the future, should a rash of people wish to build fire halls or police stations, council would have some ability to determine if the location was appropriate or not. But as proposed, this bylaw change does not do that. It basically opens the floodgates for constructing fire halls and police stations and the such in any RR5 or RR2 zone. I don't think that would be appropriate. I would question why we would do that. Again, it would certainly be very beneficial to everyone, I think, if council could speak to the reasons to this. I'm not aware of council having done that at any point, but perhaps I've missed it. But usually at a public hearing, we would have someone from council, from the Reeve, the CAO, someone that knew what was going on, do some sort of presentation as to why this was proposed, so the public could better understand what was going on, rather than being told basically that you should guess. But that is my presentation. Thank you. I entertain questions from anyone that has any.
Okay, thank you. You did very well. Only 6 minutes, so that's great. Thank you for that. Next on the list, Marty Thomas. Do you have a presentation prepared?
No, I just wanted to make sure I could get in on the meeting. Thank you.
Okay. Leonard Davis. Leonard, are you on the phone? Leonard, are you on the phone and perhaps it's just muted? Okay, well, if he announces his return, we will entertain him. Next on the list is Stan Anderson.
Good evening, everyone. I'm just wanted to make a presentation for the change in the zoning requirements. I've been living here just behind the RM shop for 11 years. I've lived in the property here for 21 years, and just after I bought the property, I had this piece of property rezoned to residential. It was zoned for farming, and because of the requirements of not being able to farm within 2 miles of Swan, it was kind of useless to have it zoned like that. So I had the foresight to get it rezoned, and subsequently I have a tax-paying property here now. I think it's necessary for the RM to make these changes properly, and also the fact that the municipality has various services and the demands of services are increasing. I think that the getting this rezoned now, so that future councils won't have to go through this kind of rezoning to do things that are in the benefit of the municipality and the municipal residents as a whole. So that's kind of why I'm in favor of it. The long-term goal. I hope there is a long-term plan, and I support that. So that's about all I have to say. And if there's anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Well, I just heard, Stan, you talk about the idea of rezoning, but that's not what they're doing. They're not rezoning. I would support rezoning as well. I think rezoning would be a great idea. I'm glad to know we're in agreement on that. But specifically what they're talking about tonight is not actually rezoning property.
Okay, Bill, it's just a play on words. And what I'm understanding they're doing is to get the use changed. Right now, I have a shop behind me that's full of machinery, equipment, shops, overhead doors, and to get this rezoned so that you can run fire trucks out of it or police cars out of it, to me, doesn't matter. I think it's a great idea. All the infrastructure's in place pretty much, and I think that's great. So I don't really want to hear, I listened to what your report was, and I don't really want to hear you splitting hairs. Thanks very much.
Okay, thank you. We have one last registrant, Val and Dave Dahl. Are either of you on the phone?
Yes, this is Val. I do have a question, and I ask you to pardon my lack of knowledge. Is this decision permanently made to change the bylaw, and is it with the thought and the purpose to create a new fire service for our municipality?
That is the intent behind the amendment.
And will we, as the general public and stakeholders in this situation, before that decision is made to create an entire new fire department for our area, will we have the opportunity to cast a vote, in favor or against
No.
that particular decision?
No, you will not. Similar to many other decisions that are as costly or even more costly, that is why you elect individuals to council. It's not a whim. Things aren't done on a whim. That's not how things are handled at council, where you have 7 members, currently 6 sitting members. There is much thought and planning and execution that goes on before decisions are made.
Further question, are you at liberty to give me the rationale and the reason for not continuing with the use of the town of Swan River's fire department?
It's very entailed, and we do not have the time and at this point in time to do that. But if you would like to call myself anytime after this meeting is done, and I can certainly walk you through the reasons why decision of this nature was made.
I would appreciate that. I thank you very much for that. I would really like to have a discussion, and I do think there are other individuals in the stakeholder realm that probably have some concerns, so I appreciate that. Thank you very much.
You're more than welcome. And if you don't have my number, they have it at the office, that you can secure it there.
Without doubt, I'll call and we'll set up a time. Thank you.
Thanks, Val. Okay, we have come to the end of our presenters, and we thank you, each and every one of you, for your thought and for your good manners, I guess would be one way of putting it. And we appreciate the input, and it will be taken into consideration. There being nothing further, we will Present a resolution, be it resolved that this public hearing shall now adjourn at 7:33 p.m. Do we have a mover for that resolution?
I'll move it.
Moved by Councillor Wills, seconded by Councillor Biloshia. All in favor?
Yes.
That is carried. Thank you. And we're just going back to the regular meeting agenda here now. Okay, and we had finished off at 9.5. So do we have any correspondence that we should be dealing with?
Roll crime one.
Or do we have another resolution to reopen? Yes, yes. Separated here on my agenda. Sorry about that. Resolution to reopen the meeting, be it resolved that the regular meeting of council of the Municipality of Swan Valley West shall now reopen at 7:35 p.m. to proceed with the regular business of council. Do we have a mover for that resolution?
Yes.
Moved by Councillor Foster, seconded by
Kushniryk?
Councillor Kushniryk. All in favor?
Yes.
That is carried. Okay, now back to the agenda. Nothing under correspondence, you say? Or do you have?
There's something under the Crime Watch, under correspondence. You go down, Rural Crime Watch there. There's,
They're requesting some maps.
go up to the,
Oh, here we go.
Yeah.
There's nothing under correspondence itself. So there's no actual correspondence with it?
No, there's
Received to
no,
read, that
no.
was my question.
we can skip that.
Yeah. Okay, next resolution, whereas increasing crime has prompted the Rural Crime Watch organization to update and upgrade operations, and whereas the municipality has received a request for 2 municipal maps to assist with this update. Therefore be it resolved that this request be hereby granted. Do we have a mover? Moved by Councillor Biloshia, seconded by
I'll second.
Councillor Wills. Any discussion? Not, all in favor? That is carried. Okay, we are then at committee reports. We will start with Councillor Kushniryk.
Okay, so the only meeting that I attended since last is the transportation meeting. So we just had various updates on the weather situation that has been presented to us and how our staff are coping and dealing with these challenges. So that's one of the highlights. I'll leave it at that.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Biloshia.
Yeah, the only meeting I attended was the transportation as well.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Wills.
Just a transportation meeting for me as well.
Thank you. Councillor Pierrepont.
Myself was the same, just transportation meeting and correspondence with a couple ratepayers.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Foster.
Yeah, transportation meeting was only one for me, thanks.
Okay, thank you. I attended the transportation meeting as well, and also a planning meeting that we held, that was held last night, actually. So those were the only two for me. How about yourself, Mr. Webb?
One moment, please.
Okay.
Good thing you type with more than one finger.
Transportation meeting for myself.
Okay. Tell me when the resolution is ready.
Okay, should be good to go.
Okay, the resolution reads, be it resolved that we do hereby accept the following verbal reports regarding council committees and communications. Councillor Kushniryk, Transportation; Councillor Bilocha, Transportation; Councillor Wills, Transportation meeting; Councillor Pierrepont, Transportation and ratepayer correspondence; Councillor Foster, Transportation; myself, Transportation and Planning meeting; and our CAO attended a transportation meeting. Do we have a mover for the resolution, please?
I'll move that.
Moved by Councillor Wills, seconded by?
Seconded.
Seconded by Councillor Foster. All in favor?
Yep.
Yep.
That is carried. Thank you. Okay, we've come to the point in our meeting where we will open the floor to individuals who are still on the telephone. If they have a question regarding or a comment regarding discussion tonight.
Reeve, it's Meredith. Just letting you know I'm in favor on your public hearing as presented, and thank all of the council for their due diligence and ongoing fire protection.
Okay, thank you. We appreciate that.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
I'm kind of curious, from listening to the meeting and listening to Mr. Anderson talk about how he's in support of rezoning. Council understands they're not rezoning with what was discussed in the public hearing.
Council understands that fully.
I didn't know if there was confusion or not, because he was certainly speaking how he was in favor of rezoning, and I'm also in favor of rezoning. I just wondered if maybe I had missed something and we were actually rezoning as compared to just changing the uses of all the zones.
No, it's, I'm not misunderstanding the rezoning.
Okay,
No, they want to change the,
gentlemen,
Just settle down.
this is not the time to have a discussion the way I see it developing. I answered, I guess, not knowing that you were there still, Mr. Anderson, so I apologize for that. However, we, I think, have presented this.
Mr. Gade gave me a phone call, and we could talk about it after the meeting.
Okay, so thank you again to everyone for their attendance.
Wait, I have a question.
Okay.
Oh, Marty, you have a question? Go ahead, sorry.
Yeah, you brought up Rural Crime Watch.
Yep.
If I phone the office, can I get a contact info for that? For that group?
I would think, yes, it's being nodded that, yeah, there's contact.
Okay, I'll phone the office tomorrow to see if I can get a contact. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? Okay, if not, again, thank you for attending, and one can only hope that this situation will correct itself. I'm talking now with COVID, so that we don't have a need to communicate via telephone. It's not ideal. But again, thank you, and good night to all of you. Jeremy, you had a question.
Yes, I see that the second reading of that bylaw is on the schedule for after in camera.
Yeah.
Do you expect the third reading to go through as well tonight?
Is it listed? I didn't even look that far down the agenda to see if there was a third reading listed or not.
Okay. Do you expect the third reading at a future meeting then?
Typically, you do a first and second reading to follow through. So I cannot speak for individual members of council, but that question will likely come to council at some point.
That's the process.
That's the process.
Okay. We're still on camera. We're still
Yeah,
we're still in council.
yeah, we're still recording. Okay, is that good, Jeremy? Okay, thank you for that question. And we will call a 10-minute recess and then return to our meeting. Be it resolved that pursuant to section 152 sub 3 of the Municipal Act, council shall meet as a committee of the whole to close the meeting and continue discussions in camera regarding personnel matters, negotiations, and preliminary discussions. A mover, please. Moved by Councillor Pierrepont, seconded by Councillor Wills. All in favor?
Yep.
That is carried. Be it resolved that pursuant to section 152 sub 4 of the Municipal Act, this meeting shall be reopened to the public. A mover, please. Moved by Councillor Pierrepont, seconded by Councillor Wills. All in favor?
Yep.
Okay.
Pierrepont and Wills?
Pierrepont moved, Wills second.
I was fell asleep there.
Okay, 14.3.1. Resolution reads, be it resolved that bylaw number 0091-21 to amend table 4.3 residential rural use table and table 4.4 residential rural bulk table of bylaw number 238304, being the rural municipality of Swan River zoning bylaw, be read a second time this 11th day of January 2022. Do we have a mover?
Kushniryk?
Moved by Councillor Kushniryk, seconded by Councillor Wills. Any discussion? There being none, we are required to have a recorded vote. Commence with Councillor Blosha,
Yes.
Councillor Pierrepont,
Yes.
Councillor Wills,
Yes.
Councillor Foster,
Yes.
Councillor Kushniryk,
Yes.
and myself, yes, as well. I declare the resolution carried unanimously. Okay, Water Services Board, resolution reads, whereas an engineering assessment report has been completed at the Benito Water Treatment Plant, and whereas the report provided recommendations for certain improvements to be carried out at the water treatment plant, and whereas council wishes to proceed with the required upgrades that remain outstanding. Therefore be it resolved that the Council of the Municipality of Swan Valley West requests the Manitoba Water Services Board to enter into a cost-sharing agreement with the municipality to assist in funding the required work at a total estimated cost of $120,000, with the municipality of Swan Valley West being responsible to initiate and complete the recommendations for improvements as provided for within the engineering assessment report. A mover, please. Moved by Councillor Blosha, seconded by Councillor Wills. Any discussion? If not, all in favor?
Yes.
Yes.
That is carried. Okay, is there anything else? Anyone? Not, be it resolved that this meeting shall now adjourn at 9:52. Be it further resolved, the next meeting is Tuesday, January 25th, 2022 at 7 p.m. Do we have a mover?
Yes, sir.
Moved by Councillor Kushniryk, seconded by?
Officer, that's you.
Oh, go ahead, somebody.
Moved by, seconded by Councillor Wills.
Okay, sure.
All in favor?
No.
I'm not even gonna sleep right tonight now.
That is carried.